Everyone remembers regular show as colorful chaos in a park, built for after-school laughs. That's not where it truly began. Before the park, before the slack-off jokes, there was a different version. A neon gas station at 2 a.m., Halloween night, candy that wasn't just candy. The short was called 2 in the AM PM, raw, unfiltered, and never meant for kids. Some call it the band pilot. That's only half the truth. Tonight, we uncover how that midnight fever dream became a Cartoon Network classic. Before we get into all the chaos, there's someone at the heart of it we need to meet. J.G. Quintel. Alright, quick backstory. J.G. Quintel studied at CalArts, the same school that produced many big names in animation. At the time, he was a young student staying up late working on projects and trying to find his own voice. This was around 2006. He didn't have a big studio budget or a network deal. He had ideas, a small team of friends, and a very specific sense of humor. Instead of creating a safe, simple student film, Quintel made something strange and bold. The short was called 2 in the AM PM. It runs for about 4 minutes. The story follows two bored gas station clerks working at 2 a.m. on Halloween. After eating some questionable candy, reality starts to twist in weird and chaotic ways. The tone feels closer to late-night adult comedy than a children's cartoon. What makes this important is the character chemistry. The tall, relaxed clerk already sounds like an early version of Mordecai. The short, angry coworker clearly feels like the first draft of Benson. The dialogue style, the awkward pauses, the sudden chaos, all of it later shows up on regular show. This tiny student project quietly became the creative blueprint for a future Cartoon Network hit. But how did something this edgy turn into a kid-friendly series? The real adventure starts here, in the midnight gas station. It's 2 a.m., and two clerks are stuck in a glowing AM/PM gas station. The tall, chill guy, voiced by Quentin himself, moves and talks exactly like an early version of Mordecai. His short, grumpy buddy, voiced by Sam Marin, already shows the personality that would become Benson. They're completely bored. Tall guy says, "Dude, it's Halloween, have some candy." The short one hesitates, then finally takes a bite. That's when everything spirals. Reality starts to melt in the weirdest ways. A naked man crawls across the floor toward the gas pump, as if it's some kind of feeding trough. A cop storms in, inhales an entire bag of chips, bag and all, and suddenly transforms into a whirlwind of destruction, tearing the store apart. Meanwhile, hallucinations appear all around them. A blue jay and a living gumball machine start arguing as if they are already Mordecai and Benson. The dialogue is sharp, funny, and filled with swearing. The animation is chaotic, surreal, and fully unfiltered. Brief nudity, absurd situations, and random bursts of chaos makes it feel like an adult cartoon playing at 3 a.m. after one too many bad trips. Even in just 4 minutes, the tiny student film establishes the core humor and character dynamics that would define regular show. And it's insane to see how much of the later show's DNA is already there. The story continues as we move from the late night chaos of 2 in the AM/PM to the network pitch that changed everything. After finishing CalArts, J.G. Quintel held on to the core character designs and that effortless chemistry between the two leads from 2 in the AM/PM. The tall, relaxed guy and the short, grumpy buddy kept their signature dynamic, loaded with sarcastic banter, deadpan delivery, and perfect comedic timing. By 2008 to 2009, Cartoon Network launched Cartoonstitute, a bold program that gave creators total freedom to experiment, pitch raw ideas with no executive notes, no focus testing, no limits, just make the pilot and see what sticks. Quintel, who was already working at the network on The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack as creative director, pitched a refined version of his short's vibe. Two best friends dodging responsibility, diving into ridiculous scenarios, and letting everything spiral into total chaos. The network reacted immediately and enthusiastically. They loved the pitch, greenlit the pilot right away, and let Quintel produce it with virtually no interference. The characters popped, the comedy was sharp and fresh, and the surreal humor felt instantly distinctive. In Quintel's own words from the interviews, it was a dream setup. He pitched the board, they said great, make it, with 0 notes, and the pilot turned out so strong that Cartoon Network quickly moved it to expand it to a full series. This became the real turning point. The edgy student short evolved into something ready for broader appeal and Saturday mornings while staying true to its absurd, unpredictable heart. But yeah, how does something that wild and unfiltered end up as the regular show everybody knows? it actually went through quite a few changes, so let's quickly run through how it happened. The core DNA survived every rewrite, everyday boredom exploding into over-the-top chaos. Where the short relied on a single hallucinogenic trigger to warp reality, regular show turned that into a reliable formula. Simple stakes, a video game marathon, a sandwich run, a lazy day, that inevitably snowball into cosmic disasters, time travel, or interdimensional threats. The escalation feels organic, not forced, because it builds on the same unpredictable rhythm Quintel nailed in his CalArts days. Cartoon Network's key changes were surgical. Strip the explicit adult references, no more implied substances or nudity, relocate the slacker duo to a park job for relatable kid appeal, and reframe the weirdness as cartoonish, high-stakes fun rather than late-night fever dreams. What stayed? The deadpan sarcasm, tight comedic timing, and that signature surreal payoff. Quintel even enforced a writer's room rule that every episode had to end in something wildly escalated, ensuring the show never felt safe or predictable. Subtle grown-up humor sneaks through in ways kids miss but adults catch. Mordecai and Rigby's endless soda chugging and wing binges parody party habits while their just one more level obsession mirrors addictive adult vices, without ever crossing lines. Now it's time to see how the so-called band pilot turned the midnight madness of 2 in the AM PM into the show you know and love. The so-called band pilot from Cartoonstitute, more accurately the Unaired pilot or The Pilot, is a polished self-contained short that refines the core vibe we've been tracing. And it's not banned in the sense of it being too edgy or hidden, it's just the prototype pitch that didn't make it to broadcast originally. It kicks off super laid back. Mordecai and Rigby are making breakfast, just cereal and milk. They fight over the last clean spoon with a quick round of punchies, Mordecai wins in like 2 seconds, and they're super hyped about their new life, sharing a room, basically no real work yet, just living the dream at the park house. Then Pops and Benson decide the old, super uncomfortable chair/couch in the house has gotta go because it's awful to sit on. Mordecai and Rigby, they both instantly want it to keep for themselves. So they do what any best friends would do. Settle it with an epic rock, paper, scissors battle, or as they call it, quartz parchment shears for extra flair all over an old uncomfortable chair Pops and Benson are tossing out. Mordecai and Rigby tie over and over, 100 times straight, accidentally summoning a massive interdimensional monster through a black hole-like portal that tries to devour the chair and wreak havoc across the park. The duo freaks out, blames each other, and scrambles to resolve the tie and stop the destruction, with Pops, Benson, and others getting pulled into the absurdity. The short directly influenced Season 2's episode First Day, which expands it into a full prequel showing Mordecai and Rigby's actual first day on the job, adding more scenes, smoother final series animation, and tighter ties to the ongoing canon while keeping the rock, paper, scissors monster climax intact. The pilot has been easy to find on YouTube for years, released online by Cartoon Network back in 2009, so it was never truly hidden or lost. Fans love comparing it side by side with the original 2 in the AM PM short and the early aired episodes. The deadpan timing, sarcastic humor, and unpredictable escalation carry over perfectly. Voices stay consistent too. Quintel is Mordecai, Sam Marin handling Benson and others, locking in that natural dynamic from the start. While it's a bit cleaner and more structured than the raw student film, it still captures the absurd, anything can happen logic that made the concept special, proving how a wild, edgy idea could smoothly bridge to kids' TV. The real forbidden raw edge belongs to that 2006 gas station short. This Cartoonstitute pilot serves as the perfect bridge, showing the transformation from fever dream prototype to the full series while preserving the heart of the madness. So next time you see Mordecai and Rigby causing chaos over a silly bet, remember where it all began. The show you grew up loving carries the DNA of that tiny student film in every joke, every explosion, every surreal moment. If you want more deep dives into the hidden origins of your favorite cartoons, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. Stay curious, and stay regular.